today. Pick the top few leaves, slap it. Put quite a few leaves. Oh yeah. Cheers. What up guys, I'm Jay from Studio Steep with all the best tea and drinks from around the world. Today is a fabulous sunny day here in Portland. All the bees are just mashing it up on the flowers, and I thought what better day than to introduce my favorite style of drinking tea in the summertime. A lot of you guys might know iced tea, not that. This style of tea is called cold brew. Let's get to it. So how is cold brew tea different from iced tea? Well, let's take it into the coffee world, right? When you have iced coffee, you usually brew the coffee with hot water, and then you cool it down using ice or cold water or just putting it in the fridge. With cold brew coffee, you do the whole process with cold water. You steep the coffee grounds in a glass jar and put it in the fridge overnight. The same difference applies in the tea world, and many of the same benefits are applicable too. What is the benefit of cold brew? Well, number one, in my opinion, is less caffeine. So when you brew tea with hot water, that hot water draws out more caffeine from the tea leaf. When you brew it with cold water, though, over a longer period of time, more of that caffeine stays in the leaf and doesn't get leached out into the juice that you're drinking. That's a good news for you and me, especially if you're trying to cut down on that caffeine. The second benefit of cold brew tea is that you get a more smoother and mellow taste. Tea and wine and a few other drinks have this thing called tannins, and in tea, it's responsible for the bitter and astringent flavors. In balance, those things are fabulous. When they're out of whack, like when you leave a tea that's oversteeped for 10 minutes, you forget about it, you go back and you drink that cup, you're like, gross, what is this stuff? What happened to my beautiful tea that was so expensive? With cold brew, on the other hand, most of those tannins stay inside those tea leaves, leaving your juice nice and mellow and smooth flavored. Even if you're a seasoned tea drinker, take that tea that you have and cold brew it. It's gonna give you a mellower, smoother, and different tastes than what you're used to. The third benefit of cold brew tea is that it's usually sweeter than its hot or iced versions. What that means is that if you use sweeteners in your tea, you don't have to use as much sweetener, right? You don't have to put as much sugar or honey or stevia or whatever it is. The last thing I will say about cold brew is that it is more hydrating than its other versions. That's because it has less caffeine. Caffeine is generally known to dehydrate you. All of these four benefits are great reasons to try drinking cold brew at home, and it is as delicious as it is easy to make. Let me show you how. Cold brew is incredibly easy to make. You generally just need 5 things: tea leaf, a container, cold water, a strainer or a funnel, and a bottle to put in your finished product. You're going to use quite a bit more leaf than you would normally use. This is a normal teaspoon, 1 heaping spoonful of tea for hot tea, right? In the cold brew version, I go a little crazy and use this much bigger soup spoon. You got your heaping spoonful of tea, right? Throw it right in there, do another half spoonful. You can play around with the amount of tea leaves as always to find your ideal ratio. Throw in the water, and there you have it. Throw that guy in the fridge as short as 2 hours, as long as overnight. This is also the point where you would want to add any other flavorings. I think I have some mint in the garden. Let's go hunt for it. Okay, we have found our little mint bush. Just like in tea, you want to grab just the brighter green bits of the leaf. That's going to give you the most fragrant flavor. Okay, back in our backyard tea station, we have the mint sprigs right here. Quick wash. Herbalz or mints, what you want to do, old bartending trick, slap it. That's going to release those essential oils and make it easier for them to blend into the juice. Oh, it smells so good. Let's throw it all in there. You can add any bit of sweetener. Close this up. And let's throw it in the fridge. Now, because I put quite a few leaves, you can already see the green color. I love that. It's gonna make for a really fantastic slap you in the face flavor. I hope my fridge is not gross. Throw that in there. At least 2 hours. Long as overnight. Overnight gives you a nice, strong steep. So lucky for you guys, I actually already have a cold brew ready to go. So let's pour this guy out. Look at that incredible color. It looks so tasty. You give it a shake and you can truly see how many tea leaves are in there. I used about the same amount. Here we go into the tin cup whiskey bottle. Woo! Oh yeah. Wow. Cheers. CHEEHOOOOO! Woo-hoo! I know martini glass drinks are supposed to be sippers, but not when it's cold brew. Give me some more. It's so mellow. It is sweet, incredible amounts of umami. Some last thoughts on cold brew. It's a fabulous drink to bring to a summer barbecue or a party. You know, obviously a lot of folks are gonna show up with beers. We all love that. But you can bring something that most people have never ever drank in their entire lives and probably will never get to until you come around with it. Go around the party and give out shots of your cold brew and people will feel better, more hydrated, a little bit caffeinated, and 100% good. Okay, I think that wraps up our segment on cold brew. Please do all those things that help this channel thrive, like liking, comment, subscribe, and especially sharing with all your friends you're gonna try to drink cold brew with this summer, or your boyfriend or your girlfriend who you're like, hey, can you make cold brew for me tomorrow, babe, please? Cool, thanks. Cheers. Catch you on the next one.